I was concerned after the first run that I was not going to get Aubrey to do another house. That's how scared she was.
Screamed a ton.
Yeah.
We went to Halloween Horror Nights this year for our first time ever. HHN 31 was a blast. We were there for the very first week of it. What we're here for you today is to talk all about the 10 houses that we walked through while we were there. We walked through them a number of times. I feel like we were basically experts on these at this point.
Getting there.
And in fact, we even did the behind the screen tour. Is that how you say
the
it?
unmasking.
Unmasking the horror. So we got to know the houses even a little bit better. And with that, we wanted to go through the houses from our least favorite to our most favorite, 10 to 1, 1 to 10.
10 to 1.
10's worst.
10's
not
worst.
One's best.
One's best. I know there are going to be plenty of people that disagree with our ratings, but that's why they're our ratings. If you guys disagree with us, let us know, and the reasons why.
Should we get started?
Yeah.
All right, so there's 10 houses at HHN. We're going to start with number 10, our least favorite. Ben, what you got?
Number 10 for me was Hellblock Horror. The theming didn't really do it for me. The idea of like monsters breaking out of prison wasn't to me the best story. The scares were average, I would say at best. It was still some impressive artistic sets, but one of them has to come in 10, and that was the one. What was your number 10?
Also Hellblock Horror. It was fine. It just was not Universal's best, in my opinion. Now, I say that, and this is my first time ever visiting the Universal HHN houses. But, like, it wasn't anything mind-blowing. It wasn't anything... Yes, I still got scared during our walkthrough. As far as, like, one that really sticks with you, meh. Yeah. It was fine. It was okay. Would I go through and do it again?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe if it was just
probably
a quick walkthrough. Like, I'm not going to wait to do it. So
I wouldn't wait an hour to do it. Number 9 for me was Blum House. I got to say, I was actually probably a little disappointed in this house. We did watch Freaky. We did watch Black Phone prior to going to HHN this year. And I just found the house to be a bit repetitive, which I think is natural given the storylines of Freaky and Black Phone. Freaky was relegated to pretty much 1 to 2 scare actor themes, I guess. The slasher and then the, I don't remember the chick's name, the blonde chick's name.
Well, technically that is the slasher also.
Yeah, it's technically.
Spoiler alert
Spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. But I just found it to be repetitive. And then Black Phone was limited in that the movie happens in virtually one room. A lot happens in that one room, but no real change of scenery except for a couple scenes that I don't want to get too much into and spoil it for you guys that still have to go. But the mask is creepy in Black Phone, but I think the house just fell a little bit short.
I also put Blum House at my number 9. So we went through Blum House a few times. It was one of the houses we wanted to give a second shot. I think that for putting 2 movies together, they did a good job with it. I think that overall they did well with the theming of the movies, but I just was underwhelmed by it. I can't say I think Freaky's the best movie in the world, but it's a funny movie to watch.
You mean to see Vince Vaughn?
I do love Vince Vaughn.
Horror actor?
I love Vince Vaughn. That movie
in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, yes. And Black Phone was creepy. Like, we watched that movie, I was like,
wow, that's creepy.
But there's something about the house that just didn't quite put me on edge enough. Again, and I will say this for every single one of these houses, it still got some good scares out of me, some good screams, but not a house that, I almost said a home, not a home you walk through.
Definitely not a home you want to walk through.
Not a house that you walk through that I didn't really look forward to doing it more than once.
The most terrifying part was that the queue was in Fast and the Furious.
Yes, 100%. 100%. I was worried that they were going to put me on the ride. So,
number 8 for me was Spirits of the Coven. I like the Universal original houses. I think they're super creative. Universal can kind of take them wherever they want, but this is one that for me didn't really care for this speakeasy portion. I didn't really. It was kind of weird. it's kind of that weird of like supernatural, but not supernatural, but then it gets more supernatural. And
It's because it was strong female characters, wasn't it?
you go, girl. It didn't scare me the way I expected. The speakeasy portion doesn't strike me as like this is a scary thing. So I think just by the nature of walking through kind of a bar gambling sort of thing, like it doesn't really put you on edge like some of the houses where you're just expecting things to jump out at you repeatedly. So for me, that it just didn't. It was fine. It was average.
Spirits of the Coven is also my number 8. Spirits of the Coven was one of the houses that we did the behind the
Unmasking the Horror.
It was really cool to walk through.
A lot of details.
Yeah, and be able to see. I think that is one thing that Spirits has going for it. Not that the other ones don't, but like being able to go in and see the details that Universal Creatives put into that house was amazing. I think it made me appreciate it so much more, and we'll say that about some other houses as well. I don't know if you guys know, but when you walk through it, look in the martini glasses and see what's in those drinks. No need to give it away.
The attention to detail is amazing, but as I'm screaming my head off, I'm not noticing as many as...
No, but I just think that that's so cool. And so I appreciate that about it. I appreciate the story behind it of why Spirits of the Coven is walked through the way it is and how it changes, where the speakeasy and you're going further underground. And again, I don't want to give it away for people who haven't done it yet, but like worthwhile to go through. Not our favorite, but not a bad house.
Now we're getting to number 7, which was entertaining to say the least.
Should we say it at the same time? What? Number 7. 1, 2, 3.
Bugs Eaten Alive. Ob's favorite house.
This should have been number 10, honestly. Should have been number 10 on my list for how much I did not look forward to doing this house. I hate bugs. I hate bugs. I hate bugs.
She hates bugs.
I did this house at least twice, maybe 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
If you don't like bugs.
You don't like bugs. This is not...
It's a rough house.
If you don't like things feeling like they're crawling on you, dude.
People will describe this house as being funny.
I found it humorous. I thought it was funny.
I can see where they're trying to go with that. Mm-hmm. Again, though, if you're not into bugs, or if bugs bug you at all,
bugs bug,
you're not going to love the house. And Universal's done an excellent job. They put a lot of SIF, S-I-F, in this house, which stands for stuff in your face.
Stuff in your face.
So take that with a grain of salt. I walked through the house with a rain jacket on the first time. Full hood up, pulled and everything. But the guy manning the front door also reminded you that, well, good luck, because you're not wearing long pants right now. So have fun with that. It was quite the experience. I apologize to a number of cast members after we left for the amount of obscenities that I screamed.
It will make you uncomfortable if you do not like bugs and stuff in your face. Number 6 for me was The Weeknd. I'm not saying anything bad about the house. I thought it was a great house. I thought it's fun, but fun for me is not a horror nights experience. It's fun. It's got great music, great sort of like techno lights and flashes and party music going on, but it doesn't scream Halloween Horror Nights to me, which I think was a lot of people's questioning in the beginning of when they heard the announcement of the Weeknd house. Is like, is this a Halloween Horror Nights? There are some good scares, like definitely some good techniques to get you scared, but for me, it doesn't scream Halloween Horror Nights.
Well, for my number 6, I did not put The Weeknd. I put Halloween.
Can't help when you're wrong.
I appreciated the Halloween house very much. I think it was a very good house. It got a lot of scares out of me. It was one of the first houses on the first night, and oh boy, did it get me. That said, I think it's a very, like, I don't want to say traditional house as far as scares and stuff go, but it definitely is one that I'm like, yeah, that's a good quality house.
You're in the movie. You're in the movie,
and you know it's the original Halloween movie, and you're going through it scene by scene, and they put you in the middle of the fight scene. It is great, and just again, attention to detail that they put in. This is a house, and maybe you guys can tell, the ones we got to go behind the scenes on. That said, it was a hard choice. I put it number 6 just because as I was making my list originally, kind of forgot about it, which I think is a bad sign.
Yeah.
If it's not the most memorable at the top, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good one. Well, here's how it fell.
Number 5?
Number 5, well, The Weeknd.
Hey, we flip-flop. Welcome back, Weeknd.
What'd you put for number 5?
Halloween.
Yeah.
Flip-flop.
I put The Weeknd at number 5 because it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think that although I agree, I was tentative about the announcement that The Weeknd was going to be a part of HHN. I was like, what are we doing? I was pleasantly surprised. And I think that that's what made it memorable, is because it was quite unique, very different. But I think in some regard, it was a good change of pace for a house. That's like true. We were dancing in the queue to the music. And was it the scariest of houses? No. Just like Halloween, wrapped up with a very good scare at the end as well. Both of those houses do a fabulous job at that.
And the reason that Halloween is 5 for me is probably very similar to the argument that I had for The Weeknd, was that when I think of Halloween, I'm going to watch the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go watch the Weeknd music videos.
Although it's on my playlist now when I work out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go watch Michael Myers. Like, probably multiple Michael Myers movies. He's an iconic character for an iconic time in Universal, which is Halloween Horror Nights. The attention to detail, the walking, you're a part of the movie, like we said, for your review of the Halloween House. You are a part of the movie. And
Michael Myers is huge.
Huge.
So that's just intimidating in itself when you're like, this big dude
is coming at you with a knife.
Creepy ass mask.
And so for me, when the debate was whether The Weeknd is higher or Halloween is higher, I'm going to default to what am I going to watch during Halloween time? And
that's fair.
It's the Halloween movies. Number 4 for me was Fiesta De Chupacabra. And if you had asked me prior to the Unmasking the Horror,
behind the screams,
this one probably would have been lower for me, honestly.
Yeah.
But the Unmasking the Horror explored some of the details and the finer intricacies of the house, so much so that it jumped probably 3 or 4 spots for me, because as we're going through the house again, I'm noticing some of those details. It's definitely not the scariest of houses, but the level of detail that they go into for that house is incredibly impressive.
I put Fiesta De Chupacabra on my list at number 4 also. After doing the Unmasking the Horror tour, I feel like we're just talking that up today. We only went to 3 houses, by the way.
Definitely do the 6.
Yes.
If you can do it, do the 6. You might as well.
The Muppet?
Muppet?
There's a difference between a Muppet and a puppet.
I still can't tell you.
Either way, getting to see those in the house
Skittles.
and they have names and all of it was amazing and so cool, and just the detail in that house was fabulous.
It's very artistic.
The masks, so much.
The masks that they have in there were incredible to see with the lights on, and to see them at night even was a whole nother experience in and of itself.
Yeah, it just was amazing. And so it made us, I think, just appreciate all of it so much more. When Universal has the opportunity to create,
to take it wherever they want,
and take it where they want to go, they kill it.
Knock it out of the park.
Yeah, it's great. All right, number 3, getting to the top of our list. So these are our top 3 favorite houses that we would go back and do again in a heartbeat. Number 3. Descendants of Destruction. We originally did not do Descendants of Destruction right away. No. In fact, I think we went to it on our second night officially. And we had waited and we'll get to it, whatever. Why we waited, I don't know. Because it was fantastic.
Incredible.
What would you call it? The blacklight makeup and what they put on people?
Yeah.
What? What? It's awesome. Yeah. It's
super
so
creepy.
Cool. So creepy. You do have to walk a little ways to get there, just as you do with a few of these others, but so worth it. We went back and did that one a couple different times because we enjoyed it as much as we did, and I think I saw new things every single time.
Every single time you would pick on something new, and That's why we also highly recommend going through these houses multiple times. Like, you might get a bad run, you might get cast change. You're going to notice other things as you go through these houses multiple times if you have the availability to do so.
What do you like about Descendants?
Descendants for me, like, even just from the facade of you're going into a dilapidated, big word, 25-cent word there, subway system, and it just gets more and more decrepit and creepy and earthy, and the monsters kind of get bigger and scarier, and was fun to experience. And it brought a unique feel to a house that was a Universal original.
Yeah. The fact that I won't be able to go and do that one next year when I go back
I hope,
makes me sad, because I'm like, that would be, I would do it in a heartbeat. It was so cool. So cool.
Similar to how they did Dead Man's Wharf.
Yeah.
Did Dead Man's Pier.
As a scare zone.
Yeah.
And then they turned it in.
So hopefully they bring this one back. They take the feedback from this year and they're like, hey, let's expand upon this.
Use it again. It was so cool.
Either make it a scare zone or
round two.
I'd make it another house, honestly. Like, that was...
It was
I'd
cool.
go through it again, even if it was the same thing.
It was so cool.
Number 2 for both of us was Dead Man's Pier.
Yes.
Winter's Wake.
Amazing. So beautiful. Arguably could be number 1. Arguably, just from the work of art.
From the work of art that it is. That
it was ridiculous how beautiful of a house that was.
They took the Dead Man's Wharf sort of idea that they had for the scare zone, built upon it.
Yep.
But that story is awesome. I wish that was one that we had gotten to go through with the Unmasking the Horror tour. I really do. And I think they would have pointed out a ton of details to it. But that story, the sets, the scare actors,
the rain,
it rains on you while you're inside.
Yeah.
And it blows cold wind to make it feel like it's winter.
And the lighthouse inside.
Lighthouse. We don't want to give too much of it away, but
chills every time.
Every single time.
Chills as you walk through it, and it's just like, it really truly is. Universal, it's a work of art.
Crushed it.
You crushed it.
Keep it going.
There's
that one.
Not enough amazing words to say about that house in particular. You know, I had good hopes for it originally, and you guys blew my expectations out of the water.
Oh yeah.
Good pun when it comes to Dead Man's Pier. Water. Yeah, whatever. But it was not number 1.
Drum roll, please. Number 1, and if you've been counting down with us, you already know what our number 1 is.
Number 1.
Legends Collide.
The House of Houses.
I was super excited for this house. Nobody does classic monsters like Universal. No one. And so when you put 3 of the classic movie monsters together, Universal's going to crush it. And so that was the first house we did, because when we got there on Saturday, I was like, this is the one we're going to.
We started strong.
This is the one that we have to do. We're tired. We've flown all day.
Yeah.
But if we do one house and call it a night, this is a house we wanted to do, and it did not let us down. I was concerned after the first run through Legends that I was not going to get Aubrey to do another house. That's how scared she was.
Screamed a ton.
Yes. She grabbed the backpack that I was wearing with the camera gear in it and would not let it go.
That house.
The expletives you will never get out of my ears.
It was a lot. That said, it was a great house.
Great house.
Like, I know I reacted one way to bugs for a different reason, but this house, as frightened as I was as amazing. Yeah. It's what you're looking for in a house.
There's
like
a story,
a scare at almost every single turn. Even when there aren't turns, there's scares that get you. And the cool part that Ben didn't mention yet, but it changes. So every night there's a different winner between the Wolfman, Dracula, and the Mummy. And so as you go through it, you don't know who the winner is going to be until the end. There were a couple times we hit it during cast changes. Still good.
Still loved it.
Still good.
Loved it.
Like, might have been one less Wolfman or one less Mummy, but still great, you know?
A total encompassing house. Good scares,
Yes.
good sets, good story, and
A good long walk afterwards to
decompress.
yes. Number one house for sure. Go and do it. Very different from the experience of Dead Man's Pier. I would recommend everyone needs to check out all 10.
Oh yeah.
So you can do your own ranking. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to know.
And like we said in our intro video, so check that out if you haven't seen it. We want to build the greatest Universal community that we can. So if you like a house for a differing reason than we do, let us know in the comments so that everybody can look at the comments and make a decision that's best for them. If you got anything on this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you click that bell notification for any updates and future videos. Thanks for watching.